to the Wild Gut Project. My name is Carrie if you're new here. This channel is all about being vegan on the low FODMAP diet for irritable bowel syndrome. Today I want to talk to you about a book that has helped me so much, and it's a 1-week cure for insomnia. It's this one. I chanced upon it in a library and it's helped so much, and I've heard from a lot of people who, because of IBS, constantly having like painful bloating or an upset stomach, they get in a really bad sleep kind of feedback loop, and it makes them feel more stressed, worse, it makes their IBS worse. So although this might seem not exactly related, I think it'll be so helpful, because I mean, if you're sleeping well and you're pooping well, you're good. That's the ultimate goal in life. So let's get on. So first I'm going to give you an overview of the book. Ta-da! It's by Professor Jason Ellis, who is a total babe in my opinion, because he's helped me so much. Basically, the first part, it just explains the very basics of sleep. It doesn't scare you into all the horrible side effects of not sleeping well, which I've read other books on sleep, and they just make you feel like you're going to suddenly die and have all these terrible diseases and it's the worst thing ever, which does not make you like relax and sleep well. Like, it's just not what you want. So it just goes through the basics, so the rest of it makes sense. And then the second part goes into the actual week that you do to transform your sleep. So day one, it's all about sleep rescheduling. So you keep a diary. I got a Fitbit instead because I found it too stressful to be like looking at the clock and working out when I wasn't sleeping. But you basically work out how much you actually sleep, like, you know, you're probably waking up in the middle of the night, and then you cut down the time you spend in bed to that amount of time. So I was probably averaging about 4 hours sleep a night, and then because that's too little, he said just go to bed for 5 hours. And you basically stick to that schedule no matter what day it is. So I would go to bed at 2 o'clock and I would wake up at 7. I set my alarm for 7:15 because I always wake up a bit earlier. And you do get really tired, but you actually sleep. And my issue was it take a long time to fall asleep, and then I would always wake up at 4 AM and feel really stressed and not be able to get to sleep until like 6 o'clock, and then I'd need to wake up around 7 anyway for work. So you could imagine how frustrating that would be. So you basically really condense down your sleep through the rescheduling. And honestly, that in itself has a massive impact, but then the rest of the days he goes into other kind of proven ways that help you manage your sleep. The next one is stimulus control, and this basically works to improve your association with going to bed and sleeping. So if you do have insomnia, you probably know that it's actually quite stressful. Like, for a lot of people, they feel really sleepy until they actually get into the bedroom with the intention of sleeping, and suddenly they feel really stressed and wide awake, and that's very frustrating. So that's what that chapter's about. Then the next day, or day 3, is cognitive control, and it's just techniques for calming down your mind, ready for sleeping. 4 is cognitive distraction techniques. It's basically counting sheep. I think this all gives you kind of like tools you can use to get yourself in the right state for sleeping. Then decatastrophizing sleep. If you're not sleeping, you can end up thinking about sleep all the time. It kind of dominates your mind, because obviously your body, your mind is like, oh my god, you really need to sleep. And you start worrying about all the health problems it's having, how you can't focus, how you're less productive, how you just feel like shit all the time. So this one is just applying a bit of logic and helping yourself not get too worked up about it, because ultimately that's not helping you have a good night's sleep. Then day 6 is sleep titration, which is kind of the second part of the sleep scheduling. So say you start sleeping really solidly for those 5 hours, then you start sleeping for 5 hours and 15 minutes. Or if you were sleeping for 6 hours, that was your bedtime allotment. If that wasn't really working and you were still finding it difficult to sleep, you would cut it down to 5 hours 45 minutes. So you then find your kind of sweet point where you're restricted just enough that you actually sleep for that whole period. And then the 7th day is just strategies to stop relapse, because once you've had insomnia, you're much more likely to have it again. You can get back into that terrible feedback loop. So that's a good one just going forward. And then the 3rd part is just case studies of people doing it in their real life. So the things I found really helpful has been a Fitbit. Not an ad at all, but I got it because I was interested to see how much I was sleeping, and it was really interesting to see actually before I'd be asleep for like 4 or 5 hours, but I'd be having very little deep sleep, which is why I never felt refreshed. And now I'm getting way more, so I think I was getting like half an hour, and then it's gone up to more like an hour and a half, a lot of the time over an hour, which is a huge improvement. The other big step is I've taken my phone out of the bedroom. That's part of my nighttime routine. I plug it in the living room, don't take it to the bedroom, and then it means I have an alarm on my wrist that won't wake up my boyfriend, and then I can get out of bed and not disturb him. Other things, I've just started packing up all my stuff the night before, making sure I don't have much to do in the morning, and it just means I feel less anxious to wake up, if that makes sense. I feel like if you have insomnia, you know what I mean. And then also making a routine of like opening the window just a bit before bed because it's too cold to have it open during the night. And I've got a Japanese peace lily in there which is supposed to release oxygen during the night. So these little things just to make it a bit fresher. And also I've noticed on nights where I wear sleeping masks and earplugs, I get much more deep sleep. So that's also been a really helpful little difference that really improves the quality of my sleep. And then the other thing is I've been making a real effort to cycle to work and back, because if you exercise early in the morning in sunshine and you exercise late afternoon, kind of early evening, it heats up your body in a way that really kind of reinforces your circadian rhythm, which is obviously all out of whack if you have insomnia. So I think all of these things combined have really helped, and now I'm kind of consistently sleeping about 5 or 6 hours most night, which might not seem like very much, but for me to be able to fall asleep very quickly and not have to try to sleep, amazing. And yeah, so that was the book. Chance to put it in the library, like absolute gold. If you have any tips to help with sleep or insomnia, please comment down below. I think a lot of the good sleep hygiene things, he says, which is a really good point, they improve the quality of your sleep once you're already sleeping. Like if you're already an okay sleeper, but if you do have insomnia, you really need to go in with the sleep rescheduling. So yeah, I hope this was useful. I'll see you in a couple of weeks with another video, probably more food based, but yeah, I had to share this. It's been so good. Bye.